Good morning, this is Tanya and I am reporting to you from Thompson Rivers University. Today we are going to be talking about IQ.
What?
It is a score that you achieve by taking a test meant to measure your ability to think.
Really?
That's right. The funny thing is, the score isn't measured the same way every time the test is taken. It is measured against a group of people's scores and the average score must always be 100. Anyone in the test group who scores above the group average is considered to be an above average intelligence. But you guessed it, if you score below the average of the group, you are of lower intelligence. If there comes a time when 100 isn't the average anymore, the test can be changed to force it to be that way. Many scientists agree that we cannot rely on the accuracy of a test that assumes an average and changes to keep that average true.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
If the tests are reliable, then statistics say yes to both of those questions. Are you interested? Well, let's talk about James Flynn. He has spent more than 20 years studying IQ test scores and has found that scores have been getting higher by 3 points every 10 years. So you might think, yes, I am smarter than my dad. I knew it. But remember, the tests themselves have changed since the time of our parents' generation was tested. Some of the questions had to change to reflect current ideas and knowledge. Your parents grew up in a different time and were taught different things. So this suggests that maybe your dad's thinking isn't actually worse than yours, it's just that he wasn't taught the same way you were. So the question remains, is this actual intelligence or is it just learned? And what about the part of your skin color saying something about your IQ? One scientist, Richard Lynn, has spent his life gathering IQ scores from around the world. His evidence, as shown in this map, says that Asian people are smarter than white people and both are smarter than black and Hispanic people. Although this data seems undeniable and impressive, in the same way that our parents maybe were just not given an education that can compare with our own, the same might be true about a planet of people who are receiving different educations and living in different environments from one another. And so Flynn argues that IQ might have more to do with environment than it does with genetics. To demonstrate what we mean, we have interviewed a group of people from different races. We asked them about the differences in their own upbringings and education. Hi guys, thanks for meeting with us today. Can we just start with you introducing yourselves?
Hi, my name is Albert. I'm from Nigeria.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Amanda and I'm from Canada.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm from China.
So Amanda, can you tell us something about school in Canada?
Our secondary school is also 5 years. In grade 12, though, we only have one required class. The rest of our classes are electives. It's pretty easy to slack off and still get by in school, but to get into university, you still have to get good grades.
Okay. So by slack off, what do you mean by that?
So I would say it's quite easy for students to skip out of classes, and their teachers will still pass them by with a passing grade.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Mandy, we're interested to hear about school in China as well.
So our base education is primary school to the high school is 12 years. And our course in the high school, everyone is same, have a 9 course. It's Chinese, math, and English, chemistry, biology, physical, social, history, and geography.
And what about what Amanda said about like skipping classes or slacking off? Like what's the deal there in China?
The Chinese school is like jail. It's not like the Canada school. You can easy to skip because they have a higher wall and have some security to stop you skip. If you don't want to come to school, you don't want to study, you just can live in school until the class over.
Okay, cool. So Albert, I'm curious about access to education in your country. How much does it cost? Who gets to go? Does anybody not get to go?
Okay, I think it depends on the part of the country you're from. In the northern part of my country, they don't really value Western education as compared to the West, the South, and the East. You know, and the South, you would really be undoing yourself if you didn't go to school because you probably not earn much money later. You won't have enough grades or a quality score to go to university. So it's pretty much a big deal to go to school in the West, South, and East. But the quality of education too depends on the kind of school you go. There are federal schools, there are state schools, and there are private schools. Most of the private schools cost so much. The public schools or the state schools are actually cheaper to go.
And Amanda, how about Canada? What's access to school like here in Canada?
Everyone in Canada is entitled to equal opportunity to school. Public education is free, and there are other options of homeschooling or privatizing schooling, which everything has their own benefits and disadvantages. Public school is the majority of what people use.
Okay.
And even in some cases for the really poor, they have free food and supplies and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and Mandy, about school in China, what are the expectations? Are you expected to go to school and do well?
Yes, in China the education is very important. So your parent will push you to study hard, and your teacher will push you to study hard, and your classmates too will push you to study hard.
Oh, interesting. Classmates will push you too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And what about access to school? Like, is it affordable for everybody? What if you were poor? Do you get to still go to school?
In China, the basic education is primary school to the high school. It's very cheap. Maybe it's $100 to $200 per semester, and so everyone can go to the basic education. And if you're very poor, you can borrow money for the bank. After you graduate, you find a job, you can pay for that.
Okay, so the bank will loan you the money to
Yeah.
go to school. Interesting. Okay, thank you. So, Albert, you're from Nigeria and it sounds like you got a good education, but do you think it's the same for everywhere in Africa?
Well, no, I think it depends on the political situation in the part of the country you're from. Some countries are fighting civil wars. There are some that, there are terrorist attacks there always. But most part of Africa, they really receive good education. Like we have South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Kenya, and many others. They compete well with the world, because the former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan is from Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Okonjo-Iweala, the African president of World Bank, the vice president of World Bank. So there are the Africans that have held top positions in the world. So
Okay.
I think the education is pretty good. It just depends on the political situation.
Yeah,
in the
like
country.
some people, it's just unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, circumstances
Yeah.
that is beyond their control.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's easy to see how this pyramid of intelligence by race came to be. We have China putting in 12 hours of school. Of course they're at the top. They're putting in the most work. We have Western civilization who, it's important, but you don't have to work that hard. You will be pushed through. So of course they're here. But maybe in the continent of Africa, you come from a place where either you're not concerned with Western education, or there are political circumstances that influence your environment. And so although some countries provide good education, others may not, but that still gets averaged to reflect that you as a continent are not of adequate intelligence. And so it's easy to see how that came to be. And so I asked my interviewees, what can we do to make this different, and how can we move past the stereotypes?
So you have to work hard. Work hard. Forget about the color of your skin. You can be anything you want to be. Work hard.
The mind is much more like a muscle than we've ever realized, Flynn said. It needs to get cognitive exercise. It's not some piece of clay on which you put an indelible mark. Even though it's easy to skip class in Canada, if you value your education, you'll go to class and get good grades.
And you have to do some brain game, have a good sleep, have a good eat, and work hard.
Thank you, you guys.